Before you zip up that checked suitcase, stop. There's something inside it that could get your bag pulled from that flight. And it is something that you almost certainly travel with every single time you fly.
We're talking about lithium batteries, specifically power banks, portable chargers, and spare batteries. In June, the UK Civil Aviation Authority launched a major summer warning after estimating that more than 100 million batteries had been packed incorrectly.
And this is not some obscure problem involving industrial equipment. These are the batteries in your phones, laptops, cameras, tablets, headphones, drones, smart luggage, and every portable charger that we rely on to survive a long travel day.
The warning is blunt. Pack these items incorrectly and your bag may be removed from the aircraft. Your flight may be delayed or your battery could overheat in a part of the plane where nobody can reach it in time.
Some headlines have been calling this a brand new ban. The basic battery rules, though, they're not new. What is new is the scale of this warning and the evidence that millions of travelers still do not understand what belongs in the cabin and what can safely go underneath the plane.
A power bank looks completely harmless. It sits in the bottom of your backpack, quietly saving your phone when you're down to 3% and still trying to pull up your boarding pass.
Think of the thermal runway as a chain reaction. The battery heats up faster than it can cool itself down. It can be triggered by damage, overheating, overcharging, water, poor packaging, or even a manufacturer's defect.
Once that reaction begins, the battery can swell, smoke, or even catch fire. If that happens in the cabin, well, passengers can see it, smell it, and tell the crew. Cabin crews are trained to respond and they can reach the device immediately.
But if it happens inside a suitcase buried in the cargo hold, the crew cannot walk over, unzip the bag, and deal with it. And that single fact is why spare lithium batteries and power banks belong with you in the cabin, not underneath the plane.
And here's the rule that most travelers miss, and it catches people even when they've packed perfectly at home.
Yeah, power banks, portable chargers, spare phone batteries, spare camera batteries, spare laptop batteries, and charging cases containing batteries must go in your carry-on, and not inside a carry-on that is suddenly about to be gate checked either.
Oh yeah, that gate check situation is the trap catching a lot of travelers right now. You pack correctly at home, you put your power bank in your carry-on roller bag, then you reach the gate and you're told the overhead bins are full.
Yep, the agent puts a tag on your roller bag and sends it to the cargo hold. Now, technically, your carry-on has just become checked baggage, but your power bank is still inside it.
Uh-oh. The FAA specifically states that when a carry-on is checked at the gate or beside the aircraft, all spare lithium batteries and power banks must be removed and kept with the passenger inside the cabin.
Now, Air Canada gives the same warning for smaller aircraft where the carry-ons may be placed on a SkyCheck cart. Battery-powered devices and spare batteries must come out before the bag goes on underneath the plane.
So our solution is simple. Keep every loose battery and power bank together in one small, easy-to-reach pouch near the top of your personal item.
Yeah, do not bury them underneath your clothes, camera gear, and emergency granola bar collection. When the gate agent says your bag has to be checked, you should be able to pull that pouch out in about 10 seconds.
Now let's talk about the difference between a spare battery and a battery installed inside a device, because this is where the rules, they start to get confusing.
Truth. Now, a power bank is treated as a spare battery, even though its battery is sealed inside its own case. That means carry-on only, regardless of how it's packaged.
A laptop, phone, or camera has its battery installed inside the device. Some aviation authorities allow these in the checked baggage, but only if they're completely switched off, protected from damage, and prevented from turning on accidentally.
But individual airlines can even be stricter. Air Canada currently lists most personal electronic devices containing lithium batteries as carry-on items, with only limited checked bag exceptions.
So don't assume that the rule you followed on one airline applies to the next one, and always check the operating carrier, not just the airline you bought the ticket from.
If you bought the ticket from one carrier but a different airline is actually flying the plane, it is the operating carrier's battery rules that govern your packing. That detail trips up more travelers than you'd expect. The next number you need to know is 100 watt hours. It's usually written as WH. Airlines use watt hours to measure the capacity of lithium-ion batteries. Most ordinary phone power banks are below that threshold and can normally travel in the cabin without special approval.
A typical 10,000 milliamp hour power bank is often around 37 watt hours, while a 20,000 milliamp hour charger is often around 74 watt hours. Both of those are comfortably within the standard limit.
But don't rely on the large milliamp hour number printed on the front. Look for the watt hour rating in the fine print on the back or the bottom of the power bank. That's the number the airline's actually checking.
If the battery is over 100 watt hours but doesn't exceed 160 watt hours, you generally need airline approval. Under FAA guidance, passengers may carry up to 2 of those larger spare batteries with that approval.
Now, above 160 watt hours, you're outside the normal passenger baggage rules. That's where travelers carrying a very large laptop bag, professional camera equipment, power tools, or large drone batteries can run into serious problems.
And if the capacity cannot be confirmed because the label has rubbed off, the airline may refuse it altogether. A mystery black brick with no readable capacity is not the item you want to debate while your flight is boarding.
No. Now, there is another detail that most travelers overlook as well. Loose battery terminals must be protected so they can't touch metal and cause a short circuit.
So you can leave batteries in their original packaging, cover exposed terminals with tape, or put each one in a protective case or separate pouch. Tossing loose camera batteries into a pocket alongside keys and coins is exactly what you should not do.
Now, before you pack, check the physical condition of every battery you're bringing. If a power bank is swollen, cracked, leaking, unusually hot, or starting to separate at the seams, then do not get on a plane with that. Recalled batteries may also be prohibited if they present a heat or fire risk. Air Canada currently names 3 recalled Anchor models that cannot be brought on board. And you need to check the model number on the device itself, not just the brand name on the front.
Reputable companies issue recalls too, so saying you bought a good brand is not the end of the safety check.
Smart luggage creates another packing trap. If your suitcase has a built-in charger, location system, or removable battery, find out how that battery comes out before you leave home, not at the airport check-in counter.
Now, Air Canada says a smart bag can travel in the cabin if it meets carry-on size limits. But if the bag has to be checked, the battery must be removed and carried separately into the cabin.
And if that battery cannot be removed, the airline may refuse to accept the suitcase as checked baggage at all. That is the kind of discovery you want to make in your living room, not at the airport.
Now, one more thing, low-powered baggage trackers are treated differently from power banks, but you should still verify the specific policy of the airline you're flying. A tiny tracker designed to stay with your bag and a power bank that can recharge your phone several times are not in the same category.
Now, one more area where airline policies are tightening is this. Some carriers no longer allow passengers to use or recharge power banks on board at all.
Others require the power bank to remain visible and accessible, not operating inside a bag or in the overhead bin. The reason is simple. If it starts overheating, the crew needs to see it and reach it immediately. Now, I use my power bank all the time on long flights because my phone never seems to last that long. So make sure you bring extra chargers with you on the flight to fit all of the outlets that the airline provides.
And don't assume because you used your charger on your last flight that the same applies on the next one. Check your airline's current policy before you travel. These rules are changing faster than most travelers realize.
So if any battery or device becomes unusually hot, begins swelling, smoking, or showing any signs of burning during a flight, tell the cabin crew immediately.
Yeah, don't hide it in your bag or your seat pocket or under your jacket while you hope that the problem goes away. Move it away from flammable materials if you can do so safely. Alert the crew right away and let them handle it. That is the most important instruction in this entire video.
Yeah, You're not going to get in trouble. You're allowed to bring it on board. Just make sure that you do it responsibly. Listen, we've been traveling for 18 years across more than 130 countries, and the rules around what you can and cannot pack, it keeps evolving to say the least. The best habit you can build is check your airline's current battery policy before every trip, even if you flew the same route 6 months ago. So the safest habit across the board is to keep your phone, tablet, laptop, and camera in the cabin whenever you can. It protects the battery, protects the device from rough handling, and it prevents you from arriving in Rome while your laptop enjoys an unscheduled weekend in Frankfurt.
And if this video saved you from a gate delay, a confiscated power bank, or a very stressful conversation at check-in, then hit subscribe. Also, give this a like, give it a hype, and give it a share so other people can benefit from this.
We publish practical travel videos every week so you're never caught off guard at the airport. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks. Ciao for now.